expect someone to knock one of them out, probably the Spurs, and then they got to take care of the Warriors themselves. Next.
The number 5, the Atlanta Hawks. 41-29.
All I know about them is Jeff Teague. And the funny thing is, I saw the Celtics versus the Hawks on Dikembe Mutombo night, and Jeff Teague, I think he's about a half foot taller than Isaiah Thomas, who used to play for the Kings. He kept basically elbowing him and too short. You know what I'm saying? He kept mocking him. Or no, he didn't elbow him. It was Isaiah Thomas who ended up elbowing him in the jaw after he kept taking it to the rim on him because they're both outside shooters of the position.
The Hawks,
Jeff Teague, I think.
But isn't Joe Johnson?
No, Joe Johnson's on Miami from Brooklyn now. Isaiah Thomas, who used to be a King, plays for the Celtics.
Who else is on the Atlanta Hawks? Because I don't think Atlanta Hawks have been good for the last couple of years.
I don't know much about them. I'm not a big basketball fan, but
I can't remember either.
I remember Dikembe Mutombo night, and I remember seeing him take.
Not in my house.
Yeah, that's basically what Isaiah Thomas did, but with an elbow.
No.
But with an elbow instead of a swat.
Not in my house. Because I'm Dikembe. All right, number 4. No, that's Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, that's what I said. You hear that, Flow Rider? Not in my house.
Oh, I see what you did there now. All right. And now King James's Cleveland Cavaliers, 49-20.
I don't know what to say about them, man. They still got.
Do they got a chance?
They still got Kyrie Irving, I guess, and Kevin Love, and I want to say J.R. Smith, but no Amon Shumpert or something like that. Yeah, if they're all healthy, they got a chance.
J.R. Smith, I thought he was with the Atlanta Hawks.
Or actually, J.R. Smith might be a Bull.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know either. There's a lot of Smiths.
Yeah, Joe Smith. I can't remember. The Hawks got some they've been a squad for a couple of years. If I recall correctly.
Number 3,
the Toronto Raptors.
DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, from what I heard,
Toronto
having a career.
Isn't Toronto in
Canada? Yeah. You didn't know that every sport but football in the core 4 has one Toronto team, at least one Canadian team.
Well,
Hockey
has a lot of
Toronto Blue Jays in
Canadian
basketball, or not basketball. Toronto Raptors, Toronto Blue Jays in baseball, and then hockey's got 6 Canadian teams, or like 5 or 7.
That's pretty interesting. The Toronto Raptors
football, they go
number 3.
DeMar DeRozan and Luis Scola. That's all I know about them.
They're good though.
They're the 3rd team in the league. Yeah.
Number 2, the San Antonio Spurs.
I've been repping
59-10.
I've been repping a Hap since before the season started, and the ironic thing is before the season started as well,
I've told you since
predicted a 76-6 record for the Warriors, and they lost last night, and I'm okay with that because
I told you since jump that I was a Spurs fan.
Well, yeah, you said you lived in Texas.
Yeah, but I never lived in San Antonio.
Still, I understand, but yeah, the Spurs, from what I hear, I watched a little bit of the first period. They're one of the, if not the stingiest defense in the league. So going up against the top offense, that was probably very fun for both of them, except for the Warriors in the second half, I'm assuming.
I was extremely ecstatic.
87-79.
I was extremely ecstatic when I seen that they won.
Oh, yeah.
87-79. That is the shit, dude. The Spurs not only won, they whooped that ass.
Well, they won by 8. They got blown out without Duncan playing, I think, back in January, 120-90 in Golden State. And honestly, unless someone gets injured, like I'm going to say Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green.
Kawhi Leonard is not as, if he's not as good, he's better than Steph Curry. Because Kawhi Leonard on defense
I'm not a basketball fan.
Is as good or better than Stephen Curry on offense.
I'm not a basketball fan like that, but whatever helps you sleep at night.
Whoa.
I still think... Listen, hear me out. Curry individually, I think, is on a different level than everybody else in the world, obviously. But Kawhi Leonard, what he's doing for the Spurs almost single-handedly, the big 3, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, they're not playing all the minutes because of how old they are, obviously, but they're still producing. Kawhi Leonard, what he's doing almost single-handedly to a sense, is just as impressive, yes, if not more impressive than what the Warriors are doing as a team this year. But
the number 1 Golden State Warriors, 62-7. So you said a lot about the number 1 and number 2 team. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No.
Well, who do you think's gonna win?
In a best of 7 series, like I said, unless someone like Harrison Barnes, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green gets injured, the Warriors are gonna win it in 6 or 7, almost no matter what, because they got home court. Well, you said there's a little over 10 games left.
There's 15 games for the Warriors. I don't know how many.
They're 3 games back, or 2.5, 3.5, something like that. The Warriors or the Spurs from the Warriors, they have a chance, but I don't see them taking the
number 1 seed. No. I don't think so either.
Mainly because
they got 2 more games to play against the Spurs. But
you said there's 11 games left on the Warriors' schedule. They're too determined and too close to tying history. I don't think they could. Well, maybe they could. You said they play the Spurs twice. Maybe they do go 72-10, or you never know.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
But at the same time,
all right. So let's go. Let's move on.
You never know.
MMA. Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock both tested positive for
juice.
Something.
Yeah, juice.
For some kind of drugs. They both tested positive, and they both are going to be facing
serious shit.
Serious shit. Rey Mysterio defeated Kurt Angle.
You suck.
With help from Riff Raff. I don't know who Riff Raff is, but
so is he a heel now?
I don't know. But Rey Mysterio defeated Kurt Angle, and Chael Sonnen and Michael Bisping grappled to a draw. Roy Jones Jr. knocked out somebody in the second round.
That's great.
An upcoming match that's interesting in MMA is Anderson Silva versus Uriah Hall. That just happened. That was they're trying to get that for UFC 1 something.
When does Bones Jones get his title back here in like 2 weeks?
In a few weeks that happens. So let's do the shit picks.
I think we ended up somewhat even this week.
We ended up even this week. Nobody won.
So there was no shit picks, but no winner either.
Beck Rawlings defeated Sohee Ham. I had Beck Rawlings. It was a decision.
It was close, but
James DeHuna got knocked the fuck out.
We'll admit the Asian started and then didn't finish very well. Bossy paid tribute to the, I guess, big boss man for that one, huh?
He knocked his happy ass the fuck out. Daniel Kelly.
Quick too.
Yeah. Daniel Kelly got TKO'd or beat Antonio Carlos Jr. And he made it ugly. In the first round, he looked like he was getting destroyed. Second round, probably could have went to Antonio Carlos Jr. And then Daniel Kelly turned it up. And the third round knocked out TKO of Antonio Carlos Jr. Jake Matthews, your boy. This is where you caught up to me. Third round knockout of Johnny Case. And that was a good fight, too.
Oh, those are the two little young pretty boys, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was a good fight. Jake Matthews whooped that ass, though. Neil Magny actually...
versus Hector Lombard was
he
probably
withstood, dude. It was a fight.
It was my favorite fight of the year.
It was a good fight. Great fight.
It was great. I mean, Hector Lombard was whipping that ass, and in the first round, you think the ref probably should have called it for Magny's safety, and then the same thing happened in the second round in favor of Magny, and you could tell that Hector Lombard Conor McGregor the shit out of that first round and was completely drained. The only difference is he started the third round.
He smoked him in the third round. Yeah, Hector Lombard looked like he was just dead. Yeah, Magny he weathered the storm, dude, and it was an ugly fucking storm.
Like I said, I really thought in my mind that the ref should have legitimately called it for Magny's safety, and then the same thing, like I said in the second round, happened in favor of Magny. But Either way.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, then the second round he had him pinned and he was bashing that ass
for a minute and a half.
And then the ref had to tell him in the third round, you can't do that and you have to defend yourself. And if you don't defend yourself, I'm calling the fight. And to Hector Lombard. And I don't know if he ever said that to Neil Magny, but they said that he said...
Well, because in the first round when Lombard was pounding him, he was actually holding his arms up. You could tell he was like, Hector Lombard, when he was protecting himself by like shoving his face into the mat, like, please don't hit me.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
He had like no energy to cover up.
In the main event, Mark Hunt versus Frank Mir. I took Frank Mir knowing damn well...
What would happen.
But, I held out hope, so whatever.
You just wanted to see a tap out.
Mark Hunt smashed that ass. He broke him. He walk-off home run in the first round. It was beautiful.
At least it was late in the first round, so, I mean, you got to see them, like, jiggle around the ring a little bit. I wouldn't want to say that about that crazy Samoan because...
no, you don't want to say that you're jiggling around the ring. You were jiggling around the octagon there, Mr. Hunt.
He kind of really wasn't, like your dad said. I think he's always been that way. And Frank Mir, from some awful reason...
He looked bad. He looked out of shape. He looked old. He had a dad bod. It was all bad.
Yeah. His milkshakes were not bringing... anybody to the yard.
He did not travel well. He did not train. It didn't look like he trained well.
Actually,
and this is one of those fighters who used to take testosterone replacement therapy, and that might have been his demise.
I retract my previous statement. I think his milkshakes would have brought old man from Family Guy to the yard. Hi guys. You want a popsicle? They're down in the cellar. Oh man.
Hi guys.
I think he only offered that to Chris actually, so never mind.
Hey Chris. Anyway. Well, we're cruising to the end of this podcast, my brother. It's another good one. But let's knock out two more things real quick. Do you have anything to talk about in Major League Baseball?
I'm excited. I love baseball. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Yeah.
It's gearing up. Everybody's getting ready.
I'm extremely glad Cess is still
a lot of games to be rained out. I mean,
yeah. I'm extremely glad Cess is still a Met. I'm a little upset at ESPN. I saw something on Facebook a little less than a week after Adam LaRoche decides to retire. They want to put up Jose Abreu reuniting with his son. I had to make it apparent. I'm not hating on Jose Abreu. He hadn't seen his son in 3 years. That's great and all, but after the big deal with Adam LaRoche, I thought that was kind of a low blow to him. And then I don't know much else to talk about baseball other than...
How about NHL?
It's a little bit
gearing up for the playoffs.
Baseball is a little bit like basketball. You kind of expect to see the Giants and the Royals back in the World Series. Hockey, on the other hand, I like to see where my Sharks are going.
Who's going to win?
If I had to give a Stanley Cup Finals prediction right now, Washington's fallen off and Pittsburgh's real hot. They'd probably be my East team. I'd go with the Penguins, and then the West. I might say, Tyler Seguin for the Stars just got injured. I don't know. Maybe Evgeny Malkin for the Penguins got injured too. So I really don't know where to go with the East. Actually, take the Penguins back in the West. I might say Chicago again.
Blackhawks.
I'd love to see my Sharks do it. They're climbing up in the Super 16, which is the playoff teams. I think they were 7th, maybe 6th now in the league. But they got to get by the Kings or the Ducks in the playoffs, and that's their big bugaboo. They can't beat SoCal. A random prediction for the Stanley Cup Finals for me would be...
Too early?
No, it's not too soon. I'm a Hog fan. I could do this. Chicago, if I had to put my life on it, and
you're hoping for your Sharks.
Actually, the Sharks are in the West, so no, they wouldn't be in it with Chicago being in it. And then maybe in the East, even though Malkin's hurt, I'll stick with Pittsburgh, yeah. And then maybe Crosby can pull it out, but I don't know.
All right. Well, we got a lot. We're going to get there. We'll get there. Hopefully somebody knocks the Penguins out. But
Hawks, you mean?
Both.
Yeah, because Crosby's...
So... You guys, thank you guys very much for listening. You guys are everything to us. The feedback is awesome. We're going to be giving it to you guys Monday and Thursdays from here on out. This is the B2J Podcast. This is James.
And Brian.
We're signing off.
Until Thursday.